The Real Weather Watch is brought to you by DeKalb, all season strong. We're joined right now on RealAgriculture.com by Dory Rossiter. She is the weather anchor, special events coordinator with Bell Media and CTV. Welcome today, Dory.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Dory, let's talk about Ontario and Eastern Canada. We're kind of trying to finish soybean harvest. We're attempting to start corn harvest. It's been very wet this week.
Yes.
What's kind of the outlook here for Ontario?
Yeah, for most of Ontario and Quebec, even starting November 1st, and as you mentioned, wetness is already a problem there for the harvesting, and that unfortunately is going to continue as we get into the rest of November. Most of Ontario and Quebec will have large amounts of snow as we head into January. Conditions are going to be still very cold, but that's when the amount of snow is expected to really increase. The exceptions are going to be through the Nickel Belt area of northern Ontario and into Thunder Bay, and those amounts are going to be above average. So, if you look at Ontario and Quebec having average amounts of snow, and then those two pockets really above average of snow, which really doesn't hit until January and February. So hopefully in the next 10 days, that wet spell will have a temporary break, and then the temperatures will still remain cold, but the heaviest amount of precipitation really isn't expected to reoccur in the form of snow until you get into January and February. And of course, all the temperatures across eastern Canada are going to be below average, with Ontario temperatures probably being a degree or two cooler than average starting as early as next week, and then sort of hanging in there for the rest of November into December and even continuing into January. So not really going into a deep freeze, but certainly below average.
Well, of course, when we're below average temperature, that causes some problems with trying to get the land dry enough to get on it.
Absolutely, because you've got that wet moisture that's already on the ground, and then you've got the freezing temperatures sort of sealing that moisture into the ground cover. So it's not an ideal situation for sure. So,
but for the next 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, as we're trying to get corn harvest going and finished, is there a possibility that we could get a bit of a reprieve here?
Well, and that's what I'm looking at now, is that in most of Ontario and Quebec, looking at that moisture carrying in for the next few days, perhaps even through this weekend, and then starting next week, it looks like a bit of a drying trend is on the way. Temperatures are really going to fluctuate in especially parts of southern Ontario over the next probably 3 weeks. You'll get temperatures well above average, and then temperatures dipping down into the overnight low, double single digits in some areas. So there'll be quite a variance temperature-wise, but the precipitation trend is expected to take a break after we get through this weekend.